Doers Index was finally launched in the US and it's been pretty successful. It is very interesting to receive questions from you, and one of the most common asked questions up to this point is essentially, is Doers Index something like, and then there are some other services, products that you guys might be thinking of when you hear about Doers Index. So it's pretty common that when you hear about a new service or a new product, you make associations, try to find similarities with something that it is already on the market and that you know. So I've been asked if Doers Index is something like Thumbtack or Care.com or Home Advisor or Angels List or Handy.com or, well, there are plenty of services that offer TaskRabbit. There are plenty of services that offer, well, let's say, alternatives to find service providers for different requirements. So it is important to clarify that Doers Index is totally different from all these solutions, and I try to clarify why. Well, first of all, I don't want to say anything about one of these services. They might be very good, and we have nothing against them, of course, and consider them nice alternatives. However, we are different than all these services because Doers Index, first of all, is just a place where people can announce themselves, so they can advertise themselves as doers. While at the same time, people that require the service can just go directly and find directly the doer that can fulfill their needs. So what exactly makes the difference then? So essentially, there are different alternatives in the market. One is what is called the marketplaces. Marketplaces are essentially, well, as the name indicates, common platforms where demand is matched with services providers. The platform is charging a commission to be in the middle of this transaction. So when a user requires a service, you can go to this platform, find a person or a service provider, contact that using the platform, and then once the negotiation is completed, then the payment is also processed on the platform. Everything is just performed on that platform, and therefore a fee is charged on that transaction. Doers Index is not in the middle of any transaction between the doer and the client. There is a second category, the third party aggregators. Third party aggregators are essentially other type of services that collect service requirements and then is sending these requirements to service providers. So when you as a client submit your requirement, this requirement is sent in turn to service providers who are normally paying a fee to receive these leads. So once again, there is a third party in between the service provider and whoever is requiring the service, and of course is charging some of the parties for this and is charging a fee for that. Essentially what these third-party aggregators does is selling the leads to the service providers. Essentially you are a lead when you require a service, and then your contact data and your requirements sold to multiple service providers who in turn will be calling you as a client and offering their services. They receive you as a lead, and then they are contacting you, and sometimes they are pretty insistent. Even though you say that you don't want to receive phone calls, they are calling you or contact you in different ways. So that is the third-party aggregators. Under these two categories, there are plenty of services that are just focusing one particular type of service. So there is one place that is just focused in personal care. There is another place that is just focused in home repairs. There is another place that is just focused in X service. So unlike all these different alternatives, Doers Index is not limited to a particular service. So it's not service specific. Essentially any type of service can be on the Doers Index. Then clients can find essentially any type of service providers without any type of restriction. So it's not service specific. As we have mentioned, that you can advertise yourself. So many people is associating the concept of Doers Index with something like classified advertisements. So we're not classified advertisements. where you pay a fee and then you are published for a period of time and you are essentially publishing whatever you want. Doers Index is a very specific database for service providers where you can just register and your record will never expire, and then you will be just permanently on the database until you decide to just be removed, or in very particular cases when terms and conditions are not fulfilled. But other than that, it's a permanent database. It's not like you are paying to be shown for some time. And of course, there is the alternative to be just shown in search engines. However, if you want to be visible on those search engines, the standard ones, then you need to, make some investment if you, as a service provider, want to be visible there, because we all know that the very first results that are shown in the results list, once you use a particular search engine, will be the ones that are essentially paying to be in the first positions. We all know how these search engines works, so you need to make an investment. So, in summary, Doers Index is totally different than any of the services that we have been compared with at the moment, because we are not a marketplace, because we are definitely not a third-party aggregator, because it's not about classified advertisements, and definitely not a pay-to-be-shown type of service as the search engines. So what we're trying to do is essentially be the place where people that can offer a particular service can just be visible to those who might need them. And in the client side, all the time when we need a service, so we just need to go to one place and find the perfect doer for the need. And I will be contacting, if I'm a client, the doer directly without any mediation of any third party. So I see the phone number, I see the Facebook ID, I see the Skype ID if any, I see the email, so I can directly contact this doer or ask for his or her data to be delivered on my email address, so I have the information on my own to make decisions, to directly contact doers, to negotiate, and to just find the perfect doer for my particular need without any intermediation, and of course absolutely free of any charge. So totally free.